So, Mom,
Yeah.
yeah, I wanted to sit down and have a conversation with you about something that I've been noticing.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So, I've been noticing a couple of changes, and I was just wondering if you were noticing them too.
What?
So, I've noticed that you've become more forgetful than you have in the past.
It's not forgetful. I've got brain changes just like Aunt Sarah had.
Okay.
And so, I mean, yes, it is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
And I've got some shifts and I have the problems with identifying the thing I'm going to say when I
Okay.
try to say it sometimes,
Yeah.
too, if we're looking for things.
Yeah.
And so I'm not going to make a big deal of it. It's
Okay.
just I've started getting out of things that require that phenomena. And so I'll let go of those so I don't have to be put on the hot
On the
seat,
spot.
on the spot
Yes.
hot
Yeah.
seat.
So you've
Yeah.
been making some
I
changes
have
because of those
decided
changes.
to not do some of those
Yeah.
things that I've hid done before.
Yeah. Well, that's got to be really hard.
Well, no, it's the better thing to do
Yeah.
because you don't need to look like an idiot in front of people when you can't find the things you're trying to do.
Yeah. You don't like to feel like an idiot.
No, I'm
Yeah.
not going to put other people in a situation where they have to put up with somebody who doesn't know what they're doing anymore.
Yeah. So, yeah. Mom, I don't want to do anything that you wouldn't want me to do in terms of this. And it sounds like you're wanting us to just kind of not worry about it,
Well,
or
I
is
mean,
that
no, I mean,
accurate?
I understand that you're going to worry about it, but I don't want you just being in my business all the
Okay.
time and pointing out when you notice and this, and it's like, because yes, it's probably going to be like that. And if it is, it is, but you just pointing it out and shaking a finger at me
Yeah.
is not particularly interesting.
That's not interesting and not helpful.
No, it
Yeah.
isn't because it's hard when you can't find those things that you know you should, and
Yeah.
that's it.
Yeah. That is hard. So is there anything at all that you could say you're most worried about with these changes
Well,
that
I'm
you're
worried
noticing?
about some people, like, they find out that you're of not available is not the right. It's, you're at risk. You're at risk. You're, starts with a V,
Vulnerable?
vulnerable.
Yeah.
You're vulnerable, and they take advantage of it.
Yeah.
And I that happened to Sarah, and I do not want that happening,
Mm,
which is why people shouldn't know, because if they don't know, then you're safer than if they
right.
start spreading it out
Yeah.
and people find out.
Yeah.
Because it can be people you know.
It can be. You're right. You're right. And I think that's such a good point,
Yeah,
and
that's
I've
why
heard of, yeah.
pulling back and not having that relationship,
Hmm.
uh,
Not making it known,
the risk,
the
the
risk. Yeah.
risk is the word I was
Yeah.
seeking
Yeah.
before.
So, yeah. So it sounds like this whole scammer thing
Yeah,
is really a concern
scammer.
of
Yeah,
yours.
scammers.
Yeah.
Don't
Yeah.
like them.
Yeah. So, you know
They're
what?
mean. They're tricky.
They are tricky.
Yeah.
So maybe as even just a little baby step that we could take together is figuring out at least maybe what we might do to help protect you against scammers.
Okay.
Maybe we could sit down, and doesn't have to be today, but
Okay.
sometime soon, and just you and me together
Mhm.
work on how we might protect you from
Well,
being vulnerable.
it's the resources you have to be careful of, is what I hear, is
Yeah.
the resources.
Hmm.
because they can take advantage and get hold of stuff that
Ugh,
you have.
yeah, yeah. Well,
Yeah.
maybe, why don't I do a little research on what kind of the big
Well, but you
scamming
don't
thing.
need to tell everybody
I
and their
will
uncle.
I will not say who it's about or what it's for. I'm just going to do my own little research on, some of the more common scamming situations, and then maybe you and I could talk about just the two of us
Okay.
about what we can do to
But
help you protect you.
don't tell your sister
I
and don't tell the other family members because I don't need them right
Okay.
now involved in it.
All right. Mum's the word.
Your mom,
Mum's the
yeah,
word. Mom.
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 Okay,
Mom.
yeah, that's
Okay.
probably a good
Well,
plan.
I appreciate that you were willing to talk with me about that.
Okay,
I know it's hard.
it is. This scenario is a hard one. I have awareness, but I'm terribly afraid that someone else will discover and figure out that I'm having problems. What's really important to notice in the interaction, no, we did not move mountains. No, it was not a huge shift. But Carolyn didn't give up on me, and I didn't give up on the relationship. It was a baby step, but she's starting to build a new relationship, and it is based on trust, and it is not easy. You'll probably want some expert help if this is the situation you find yourself living with.